Good afternoon, everyone. Here is Liang and Chee. And as Virginia introduced me, I have so many things to do all at the same time. And my friends love to joke about that, and they call me the guru of time management. And if you speak Mandarin, you know they're basically teasing me. I never viewed myself as someone who can juggle between so many different things. And it's more like in the recent 3 or 4 years, I started to have an idea about who I am and what I want to be. So I'm going to share a story about me navigating my life and learning to love myself more through all the changes. So when I was a kid, I used to visualize a successful lady as one who wears one-piece black dress, hair tied into a bun, trotting along with heels on, handbag in one hand and another hand holding documents. She had her chin held up high and with sparkles in her eyes. She is filled with confidence, determined, and powerful. But the funny thing is, I couldn't visualize her face. Is that me? What does she do for a living? So every time when people ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer would change from a daily basis. A teacher, if I was awarded a sticker on a school day. A nurse, if I was treated with candies when I visited the doctor. And some days, the answer would change to a security guard or policewoman. You see, I was not quite sure about what I want to be. My dreams changed based on the scenario. But the image of that driving lady never changed. So with this ambiguous image in my mind, I came to Hong Kong 10 years ago to study in community college. At that time, becoming a successful lady was too far-fetched for me. My life was only about 2 things. One is to study hard to get into uni, and another is to learn Cantonese. Why did I want to learn Cantonese? Well, I used to be a huge fan of TVB series, and I really want to watch them without being dubbed. But you know how you feel when you watch the stand-up comedy show in a dubbed version, right? It's like something is missing if you don't watch in its original language. And also, Cantonese is a part of the culture. It represents Hong Kong. It would be an honor to order the iced lemon tea by saying, 凍檸茶,唔該. I live here. I want to go to those local restaurants and order food in Cantonese instead of pointing at the pictures and say, 唔該呢個, this one please, this one please. It would be way much easier for me to talk with people, to connect with them, and to understand Hong Kong if I can speak Cantonese. I can still remember the time I mixed English, Cantonese, and Mandarin to chat with my friends. For some, this might be seen as a talent, a skill. But for the 18-year-old me, this was embarrassing. In my mind, I was not good enough to stick with only one language. So every time when I went to茶餐厅, I always ordered 餐打面一来茶, the egg noodle and the hot milk tea. Well, I do love them. They are the common food in the TVB show. But also another reason is they was the only food I know how to speak in Cantonese. This language barrier made me panic and embarrassed. I felt I was weird and I didn't belong to any group. I was not able to be myself because I was ashamed by not being fluent in Cantonese. Well, after 2 years, I got into uni, and at this time, I can speak Cantonese, naturally like my mother tongue. Don't laugh. I know you're thinking I never speak it like my mother tongue. But, yeah. And I can chat with my friends and also order food in Cantonese now. I can naturally say, 凍檸茶唔該, and I can also add it, 小冰早甜, to ask for less ice and without sugar. I'm improving, right? Everything went as expected. I was supposed to be satisfied, but I wasn't. I was lost. I don't know what's next. The image of that successful lady was still in my mind, but there were voices around her. You are not good enough because you still cannot speak Cantonese like a native speaker, and your English sucked. You will never be successful because you don't know what you want to do. All your achievements is only because you're lucky. You can do nothing. Now, to look at this, it's quite silly, but actually I did struggle back then. I didn't know, but this is actually a very common trait among a lot of people. After they achieved something, they don't know how to take the credit. They deny what they did good. In psychology, this is called imposter syndrome or fraud syndrome. It's not a diagnosed mental disorder. Just so many people are sharing the similar experiences. They have their own battle with this kind of self-doubt. It got a name. So, my uni life was good, with lots of struggles, questions, doubt. But in general, life was good. After I graduated, like most fresh graduates, I was confused about what I should do for my first job. When you're confused, you grab anything available in front of you. So, I became an insurance agent. I convinced myself this is what the successful lady would love to do. But something felt wrong. My intention was there to help people, to meet where they are and to recommend the suitable policy. But in reality, what I did was mechanically repeating the scripts that I was trained to memorize. This is not how I visualize myself. Two voices started to fight in my head. One said, keep trying. This is the only way to be your successful lady. Another one whispered, hey, there are so many directions to be successful. If you're not happy, this is not you. It's actually my grandpa who noticed my struggle. One day, he invited me for a drink. Yeah, I drank with my grandpa. He's a super cool guy. I love him so much. And after a few glasses of wine, he said to me, little girl, you know what? You are a very caring person, and you would do everything to ensure the jobs are done. I can still remember the family trip we took when you were 5. The tour guide asked you to remind the people bring their swimming suit. You will knock on everyone's door. That's 50 people's door to do that. But now, in the professional world, you're not 5-year-old anymore. You need to learn how to bridge the gap between what people need and what you can offer. His words inspired me to transfer from a frontline sales to a supporting role. I became an executive assistant, and I enjoyed it way much more. Thinking back, this is a game changer. We're living in a very, very fast-paced society, and we're so easy to be lost in all daily trifles. We all need that one person to remind us who we are and what we're good at. On my journey, my grandpa did it. So please remember, you're not alone on your journey to navigate who you are. We talk with different people, we listen to their advice, and we're willing to make changes. So, executive assistant. Besides organizing schedules, I also do other operational work. I organize events and translate documents. Suddenly, switching between 3 languages become my key assets. Instead of only 1, now I have 3 languages to express my ideas. This makes conversation way much easier, and I become more confident in my professional world. Slowly, this confidence transferred to my everyday life. I become more chill and okay with things I don't know. When I go out and I want to order food I don't know how to say in Cantonese, I would just point at it and say, "M'gai go." I would ask my friends later and practice harder. I don't overthink too much. I know eventually I will do it good. But this change didn't magically happen overnight. It's through millions of different conversations I finally see the value of my language ability, and it's this realization shifts my mindset. When one thing is good, it would have more space for other stuff. So at the same time, I committed to powerlifting. Powerlifting is not the one in Olympic, that's weightlifting. Powerlifting, I would say it's the basic body movement, back squat, bench press, and deadlift. In case some of you guys don't know what that is. So in order to support the expense, I started part-time Mandarin tutoring. At the beginning, I was so nervous, and I would write down every single line I want to say in class. Can you imagine that? To make sure the class went smooth, I would write detailed reaction notes, such as, "Laugh here, this is a joke." But gradually, I become more confident. I could conduct a class without holding any scripts. Again, this didn't happen overnight. I trained my confidence through a huge accumulation. I keep challenging myself with different levels to teach students from different backgrounds and different age groups. And finally, at this time, I can see the image of that successful lady more vivid. It was me, standing in front of a lecture room, shoulder down, arms open, without any notes on hand. I was confident with a smiling face. The class was more like chatting and sharing with a group of friends. That's pretty chill. At that moment, I realized I want to be an educator in higher education. Once you figure out the image, the path becomes much easier and clearer. I quit my assistant job and started to pursue teaching full-time. This year marks my 10 years in Hong Kong. Looking back, I do feel grateful for all the challenges and changes I experienced. Moved to Hong Kong alone, self-learned Cantonese, insurance agent, executive assistant. All these kind of irrelevant experiences, they contribute to my journey to figure out who I am and what I want to be. Not everyone has a clear picture at the beginning. We're navigating through changes. We share our ideas and thoughts with family and friends. They are our best supporting system. They are always there to remind us who we are, and also they are there to encourage us, keep an open mind, and try different ways. However, I'm still navigating. 5 years ago, my grandma passed away. In her last days, she only weighs 23 kg. I don't want myself to end in that way, and I don't want to see anyone else in my life to be in that position. So I started to lift. I took this picture at the very early stage in my fitness journey, and maybe some of you already noticed the thing on my hair, that's the color to lock the weight. I love this picture because it's always reminds me where my journey started. After 1 year exploring different strength training, I committed myself to powerlifting, and I wanted to compete in a world championship. It's a huge, impossible goal for someone who has never stepped into a gym, but I just know I will do it one day. Well, this journey is more than the weight on the bar and the joy of being on the podium. After 1 year in powerlifting, I started to spend more time standing in front of a mirror, look at myself. One day, I looked into my eyes and said, "Hey, you are beautiful." It's the first time in my 25 years to look at my own body and appreciated it. It's so powerful, and it's the power of being confident, which I gained through consistent weight training. Well, this journey has lots of empowering moments. The time I hit a new personal best, changed the small plates to big ones, represented Hong Kong in the Asian Championship. But the most memorable moment is the moment I started to love my own body. That's the result of being consistent. It's also a change of mindset to focus on the process and to celebrate every small win. I love myself more and more, even on days I feel sad or tired. Sometimes I still feel like an outsider who never fits in. On those days, I would just look at the mirror, shrug and say, "It's okay, everyone is a weirdo." This is my journey about picturing myself as an educator and athlete. It's challenging, abstract, and sometimes intimidating. I can still hear my inner voice judging me. But now there is a much calm and firm voice reminding me that I am capable of what I'm doing, and I'm practicing them every day. I am breaking down my big dreams into small action plans and being consistent with them. I am worthy. I'm learning to acknowledge my own effort and to allow myself celebrate those moments when others say my values. I'm still learning to love myself more. If I can do it, same goes for you. Of course, there will be times when you are not sure, you are confused, and you are lost. It's okay. On those days, just look at the mirror, remind yourself, you are unique, you are capable, you are worthy. My powerlifting coach once said, kg by kg, we are getting stronger together. I would like to borrow that and say, step by step, make our dreams come true.